In three, recording in progress. Three, two, one. Yo, everyone, you're listening to Filmmaker Mike and the boys. Joining me for this episode is Sequestered Jester.
Hey, everybody.
And Pinhead.
There he is.
There we go.
There you go.
Just some ASMR.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
So we are without Kuya.
Thank God. I mean, yeah,
This
we
episode.
miss him. We miss him a lot.
Well, he's enjoying San Diego. So
I just want to put it out there right now, Kuya. I love you. I miss you, and I can't wait for you to come back. Come back home soon, baby boy.
Yeah, ditto.
yeah, after saying thank
Oh,
God.
yeah, you just told him to fuck off. Shut up.
Ditto.
Let me backtrack that. Alrighty, so we're gonna kick things off with Pinhead's movie review on Spiral, the latest installment in the Saw franchise.
So I'll give you, because there's other quick synopsises of it, but I'll give you the IMDb synopsis of this because this is closest to the telling you what the movie is without spoiling it. So the synopsis is: a criminal mastermind unleashes a twisted form of justice in Spiral, the terrifying new chapter from the Book of Saw. It's directed by Darren Lynn Bosman, written by Josh Stolberger. Oh God, no wonder why. And Peter Goldfinger. Oh, that's another reason why. So this explains a lot. It stars Chris Rock, Samuel L. Jackson, and Max Minghella. So I'm assuming that's the. Let me do this real quick because I want to make sure I'm a. Yeah, it's him. So anyway, this movie was absolutely average. So let's say it together. It was average, middle of the road. Like this movie was and I know I say it a lot because that's what we're getting a lot, but this movie was the epitome, the bare definition of average. It wasn't good. It wasn't dog shit. It was just literally average. And that's saying a lot considering the last Saw movie, Jigsaw, was pretty fucking average too. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this because the movie was average and it was boring. I really had a hard time. This movie's only an hour and 33 minutes from credit to credit. It was very boring. It was very average. Chris Rock was okay. He was fine for what he is. There were points where you really enjoyed his acting and you could say, okay, I believe he's a detective. I understand that he's doing this. And I can see what he's doing. And then there's moments where he just takes it over the fucking top and he starts doing that CB4 acting. If anybody's ever seen CB4, the movie, the comedy movie, the Cell Block 4 that he was in the 90s, mocking NWA, it was a gangster rap spoof, but the same acting that he had in CB4, he does it in Spiral. He pulls back where you go, okay, he's doing a good job, and then he goes over the top. So it takes you out of the movie. Let's talk about the important parts of this movie, which are the traps. The traps are fucking garbage. They're trash. A guy has this, there's a tongue trap. Ooh. There's a Chinese, there's a Chinese finger death trap on steroids. Ooh. Look out.
Chinese finger death trap? I know.
Yeah, on steroids. Yeah, on steroids. Like they try doing that. Ooh, my grandmother didn't even budge. She was like, okay. And then you had the final, like there were, I will give them the one trap. There's one trap toward the end that I really enjoyed. It had to do with glass. And it is brutal. Like the trap is brutal. The idea behind the trap, I'll just say this without spoiling it. There's a contraption where glass falls into a wood chipper that's connected to, I think it's a 747 jet engine that pushes, and that's where I'll leave it. And it's
holy cow.
Yeah, and I was like, oh shit! Now we're talking.
Yeah.
And it was brutal. And I'm not gonna spoil it because, and that's it gets real brutal. I'm like, all right, here we go. And by the time that one's done, and Chris Rock gets to that point, it's too little, too late because there's 10 minutes left in the movie, and then we get to the nonsense where. I don't know if it's me or my detective hat or whatever, and people are calling this a knockoff 7. That's an insult to 7, and it's an insult to other Saw movies that actually were good, like Saw 1 and 2. The first 2 Saw movies are fantastic. After that, that's a subject for another day. I'm not getting into it. I'm just saying, here we were like. Chris Rock was talking about how everybody talked about how Chris Rock he has this great idea and he's a huge super uber fan of Saw and he wants to put it in a new direction. Bullshit.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
In what time frame is this supposed to be around Saw? After, before, during?
So from what they're pushing it without spoiling it for other people, because that's another spoil. That's another going down spoiler territory. So
okay.
Without being, and I'm not trying to be an asshole or be vague, but without spoiling it for people, because that's another spoiler. It's in the timeline between Jigsaw and I really got to be okay. So it's. Let's say it's 6 months after the last.
Okay.
I'm gonna say this with, and I'm not trying to, and I'm stalling and I'm stuttering, but I'm trying not to ruin it for people. That I'll say this.
Don't say.
I'll say this. Every Saw timeline counts. So from 1 to now,
there you go.
To the last one. It doesn't matter. It's in the entire canon of Saw from 1 to now, because they do something in the movie, and I'm not going to spoil it. They do something in the movie that tells you it's in the entire canon because they do a cop out bullshit that tells you it's in the entire canon. So it's from 1 to now. So you had to have seen every Saw movie, but you kind of don't. That's where we're at. So without spoiling it, wrapping it up, I saw, and like I said, like I was saying, the people say this is a 7 knockoff. It's not, because that's an insult to 7. And like I said, that's an insult to the first Saw movie. This would be, if it's a 7 knockoff, it's a Dollar Tree Family Value 99-cent store version. It's Robert Kopp version of 7, the Justice Society or some shit like that you would get at I saw the killer coming 10 minutes in. I knew who it was. And this movie does some bullshit that's even beneath M. Night Shyamalan twist type of shit, where they try and fuck with you, where they go, it's not that killer who you think it is. And they do a trap. That's why they have that trap I just told you about. And then they do a trap at the end. Well, when we get to the trap at the end, they go, oh no, we were just kidding. The guy you thought was the killer is the killer. And they reveal everything. And I was like, why are we here? There's a very heavy-handed social commentary in this about, I'll just say, without ruining it again, I'll say it's a social commentary about the police. It's a very strong social commentary about police. However, it gets destroyed by this pathetic, middle of the road, pussy ass plot that most third graders and fourth graders could do a better job. So it would be great to have that social commentary that they have in this. That's the twist, because the social commentary is the twist. That's great if the movie actually worked on any level of suspense, horror, anything. Like, I can see the push and pull. So Darren Lynn Bosman, as far as I'm concerned, is a hack. I'm just going to say it right now. Saw 2 was awesome, and he directed it. But then we kept getting Saw 3 and 4, which are trash. He left away and worked on his magnum opus, which was Repo the Genetic Opera, which, if you're really high as a kite, it's a great musical. But if you have brain matter, it's complete trash. So long story short, he hasn't done anything for years. He's done movies, but they've been straight to bargain bin DVD or VOD. This is his first movie back in the big budget mainstream category, and he fails on all levels. The directing is absolute trash. It's fucking garbage. And this isn't just me being harsh on horror movies. Anybody with... So, Mike, your wife, Julie, would go and see this. She's a very smart, intelligent woman. She would go and see this, and maybe she would squirm a little bit at some certain things, but for the most part, she'd come out going, "It's an insult. It insults our intelligence." And I bring her up, or you, or anybody, because that's for someone on a non-horror basis. Imagine what someone who is very well versed in this. We're done with this. So I'm going to give my rating. It's a 1.5 out of 10.
Oh, man.
This is worth streaming if your girlfriend dumped you and she's not sucking your dick, your wife divorced you, or your girl, or vice versa, whatever, and you're very depressed, and this is the last option you have. La La Land's not on, for Mike. Mandalorian is somehow cut off, whatever. Like, your Space Wizards are gone. Marvel, the Snyder cut was booted off of, HBO Max.
Hell no.
But what I'm saying is, for some reason, these miracle anomalies happen, then you could watch it on streaming,
right,
for free. Otherwise, don't waste your time, and I'm saying this because Chris Rock and everybody touted that this was going to be the reboot of the Saw franchise, and I didn't think it was going to be that. But there's critical things that happen in this movie, like completely wasting Samuel L. Jackson, for one. I know, I understand. I knew he wasn't going to be there for the whole movie, but he's in there for a grand total of 4 minutes.
What?
And that's including the trap time. And I've already said too much. He's in there stretching it. If you stretch it, he's in there for a grand total of 5 minutes and 30 seconds. And these guys, and I know why they did it. They didn't just go, "Oh, it's Chris Rock." They said Chris Rock and Samuel L. Jackson, and they did it to get asses in seats. By the way, you still failed, fuckwits. I understand why they did it, but it's dirty pool. Like I was telling Daniel about it when I was talking to him about it. It's what we call in the wrestling business cheap heat. It's a cheap way to get people in the seats. It's cheap heat. So now that I think about it even more, it's a 1 out of 10. So That's my review for Spiral. The best part of the movie was the end credits. And I'm not saying that just to be funny. The best part of it was the end credits because they had the 21 Savage Spiral song on there that I've been listening to religiously. However, at the end of the credits, and because I've been listening to it a lot, that's why I said the best part was the end credits. They kind of tweak the song a little bit and remix it and make it even better at the end of these credits. So I'm hoping that they put out a remix version because he did tweak it. You can't, my ears are bad, but they're not that bad. I heard the remix and it was nice. And I stayed there. My grandma wanted to go. She's like, I'm done with it. I'm like, no, we're finished. I got to hear this. And then we left.
So let me ask you this question. Your rating for this movie scores much lower than Army of the Dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy cannoli.
Yeah, because I'm not I knew Zack Snyder would deliver more. I expected more out of Spiral, and I don't know why I did, but I did because of all the everybody in the community knows what I'm talking about. So I'll say this and we can wrap it up. Everybody in the community knows what I'm talking about. Even people that weren't in the community, we talked about this. Chris Rock touted that he was bringing this great idea that he's a huge fan of the Saw franchise. I was like, okay, cool. I didn't dismiss it because we have John Krasinski and Jordan Peele. They've already proved themselves. So now we got Chris Rock, and Chris Rock's like, yeah, I'm a huge fan of Saw, and I have this great idea that I want to come here. One of two things happened. Either that was bullshit and they just said, yeah, give Chris Rock whatever he wants and we want him in there. And he's not a fan. Or two, you're a fan and you made the worst fan fiction you've ever made in history. Those are the only two options. Either Chris Rock is not a real fan and that was just publicity to get him in there, or Chris Rock is a real fan of Saw and he made the worst fan fiction ever. Those are the only two options. Because I knew the directing was going to be shit. Darren Lynn Bosman was directing it. I was hoping was that I know I keep saying I'm going to wrap it up here. What I was hoping in my mind is why I gave this a lower score than Army of the Dead. Because in my mind, I was really thinking and hoping before this movie came out, before I heard Darren Lynn Fuckwit was directing this, I was really hoping that it was written, directed, and produced and starred by Chris Rock. People scoffed at that idea because that was the original thing that came out and people were like, oh, this is going to be stupid. I was hoping that was going to be. And now that I see what came out of this film, I would have much preferred that what I thought in my head than what we got. Because between Chris Rock's overacting and Darren Lynn Bosman's shitty directing, we got I'm being nice. Average it middle of the road is being nice. So I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna be really nice because I like Chris Rock. My final verdict is a 2 out of 10. That I can't go no higher than that. And that's me in a good mood. It's a 2 out of 10. That's it. It's a 2 out of 10. And that's still lower than Army of the Dead.
Yeah. So that's it.
So there you go. 2 out of 10.
All righty. Cool. Well, thank you for that review.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Well, moving on next. Want to talk about The Bad Batch, episode 5, Rampage. The Bad Batch continues on with a mission. So it says here, the Batch strike a deal to take on a mission. Did you get to finish it, Jester?
I did finish it.
Yeah?
Yeah. It was okay. I want more. And like I think I've been spoiled by Mandalorian, if I'm being honest, because like we complained that there wasn't enough of Mandalorian sometimes. Like we wanted more, like I'm saying now, but at least with each episode of The Mandalorian, I felt like I was progressing in the story. I don't feel like I'm progressing right now. So I don't know. I'm enjoying the episodes. I'm not disliking them. I want more.
Yeah.
So this one was okay. I mean, I honestly, this is going to sound really bad as a Star Wars fan. I don't really care where the Rancor came from in Return of the Jedi. Spoiler alert.
Supposedly that's not the same one.
I heard that, but like, why else add a Rancor like infant Rancor, and then have, huh?
And not to interrupt, I thought you got your Star Wars card revoked last week when you were proven wrong from Mike. So.
Oh, I did. So, okay, then I have every right to say what I'm saying right now.
Exactly. So keep going.
No, I love the Bad Batch and I love the characters, and like each episode that we watch, I get like a hint and a little bit of a dopamine rush of excitement from certain things that happen, but I'm not like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for the next episode, guys. I can't wait. I don't really care. Like, honestly, I started this one and then I forgot to finish it. Like that's as a Star Wars fan, I feel terrible. You know what I mean?
You forgot.
Yeah, I forgot to finish.
So in your opinion, it's not like Mandalorian level of like, I must see this.
Yeah, the story hasn't done anything to where I'm wanting the answer to the next question. At least with Mandalorian, there was a mystery going on, and there is a mystery in this one too. But at least with the Mandalorian's mystery, like little pieces of the story were being handed to us each episode, enough to where I was like, oh wow, that's something really big. What's the next thing going to be? This one, it's like, we're going to a side mission to do this and then this and then this. And I'm like, okay, I like that. I like that I'm getting every step of this new world that they're developing. But I think I said this to Mike when we were at work. I wish instead of 16 episodes, we got 8 and they made them all like 1 hour and 15-minute episodes, like the first one. Because the 30 minutes, I feel like is just not enough for these little side missions. And I understand they're very much trying to stick with Clone Wars era, TV show, Cartoon Network TV show kind of thing, where like 30 minutes every week and yay, kids getting up for their morning cartoons. But after The Mandalorian, dude, it's tough. Like, it's really hard for me to stay interested. I was talking to Brad and he was like, I'm just going to wait till they all come out and then I'll binge it. Cause it's just not going to be the same. And I'm like, I'm almost at that point where, I mean, I'm not going to, cause I'm still a nerd enough to, I want to go watch it, but yeah, I mean, it's almost better if all these were out and we can binge them.
Yeah.
So so what you're saying for a non-space wizard inductee like me, it's not on that level. The bar was raised too high with Mandalorian as far as
yes, and if I was recommending this to anybody else, I would ask first, did you watch the Clone Wars? And if they said yes, I would then ask, did you like it? And if they said no, then I would say, then the Bad Batch is probably not for you.
Gotcha.
That's probably what I would say.
Gotcha.
Well, if I met someone who said I didn't like the Clone Wars, when I fucking punch him in the face, I'd be like,
well, yeah.
fuck you!
I mean, I completely agree, but because I'm sure, like my pop, for example, absolutely loves The Mandalorian, but he just can't stay long enough to watch Clone Wars. Like, he's like, yeah, they're cool, but I don't really want to watch the next episode. I don't really care. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Stop asking me so many questions, old man. Then watch the show.
Yeah, watch the whole series so you get a lot of your questions answered.
I completely agree, but
tell your pop to say fuck the space wizards and come over to the dark side and join Star Trek.
Oh, he loves Star Trek too. So
I love your pop.
Yeah.
Did he just start season 1 of the Clone Wars and then just try to go from there, or?
Well, I told him, I said, look, man, if you're gonna watch that show, very much expect to be because he's not as much of a diehard fan as I am. So I said,
Okay.
expect the very much low budget, child centered content until about season 3. Then season 3 it will pick up, and then it'll get really, really good to where what we got in season 7. And see, that's what I'm not trying to say the Bad Batch is immature in any way. Like, it's very much mature for this animated show. It's just not keeping my interest right now. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd say
weird.
it's mature. They're dealing with human trafficking again.
No, I know, and like I think that's cool.
Really?
They dealt with that in the Clone Wars, and they're dealing with it again in this particular episode. And then these characters, I forgot their name, the species, is it Zygerians?
Yeah.
Yeah. We haven't seen them since that episode of the Clone Wars. That was an interesting episode as well. And then so Muchi is their target that they're supposed to save. And spoilers, they think it's a kid. It's some kid who's been enslaved, but it turns out it's an adolescent Rancor. So for those who are not familiar with what a Rancor is in the Space Wizards universe, it's the huge monster creature that Luke Skywalker encounters in Jabba's palace, and that he's tasked to kill without the use of his lightsaber. And I remember when I first watched Return of the Jedi, and I started watching it, I'm like, okay, he enters the palace like a motherfucking badass Jedi. Force fucking chokes one of the what's the name? The Gamorrean guards.
Yep.
And I'm like, holy shit, just like his father. And then he's like dealing with Jabba, and he's telling him, release my friends, you release Captain Solo and the Wookiee to me. All that stuff. And then of course Jabba's like, he tries to use the Jedi mind trick on Jabba, but Jabba's not weak-minded like Bib Fortuna. By the way, Bib Fortuna getting his moment in the spotlight. We saw him at the end of Mandalorian season 2, as they introduce, of course, the Book of Boba Fett. And obviously there he's been living it up, eating all the desert frogs and goodies from Jabba's palace. But then here in this episode, we see Bib Fortuna again. But this time, of course, in the timeline, he's still working with Jabba. So the Bad Batch they find out that they have to save an adolescent Rancor. And it actually helps them in the episode escape their captors, because they get captured by these slavers. And they have this beast, I forgot the name of the creature, but it's essentially a big ass lizard that can fly, that can glide, and like has a whipping tail. So Muchi the Rancor actually, there's some wrestling moves there. I was like, holy shit. Like fucking, she's like fucking beating him, like everything. I'm like, holy shit. She bites the tail of the lizard. Like one point, I'm like, fuck yeah, bite his ass, and like fucking, I want to see some blood. Like, holy shit.
It was actually, I really enjoyed that part. It really, I mean, we got our own like miniature Godzilla versus Kong kind of, it was kind of nice.
Yep. But it does end up that Omega is the one that ends up saving them. And then we also find out from their new friend that used to work with the Jedi. She knows about, because they traded information in return for the Bad Batch saving Muchi and returning her to
Bib Fortuna and Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah, to Bib Fortuna and Jabba the Hutt. I forgot my goodness, I need a character list.
Sid,
yeah, that's right. Thank you. So Sid is the informant, and that tells them, hey, save Muchi, and I can give you the information you want on the bounty hunter, which is Fennec Shand. And she tells him like she's pretty new, but she's already built a reputation in the bounty hunting, field. And she is curious as to why she of all the bounty hunters, why is Fennec Shand on them, tracking them down?
Yeah, she says to Hunter at the end, like, you must be a lot more valuable than I thought if someone like Fennec Shan's after you right now.
Right. And so I'm still thinking that it could, yeah, I think it could have been the Kaminoans that hired Fennec Shand to track them down and to get them, particularly Omega. But I also think it could be Boba Fett.
You're thinking it's Boba Fett?
I think so. Because
interesting.
I really think if he knows about Omega, then that really puts her as his sister.
I wonder if this is going to be possible ties to the Book of Boba. If we're going to get anything like that.
Why not? I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, no, I mean, that would be cool. Interesting Boba. I keep thinking Maul, man, because he's in charge of the criminal guilds or the criminal underworld right now. Yeah, but I mean, Boba makes sense. I mean, I think he's getting close to his prime right around now. If Cad Bane's dead,
right, and
if
then
that's what they're sticking with.
Yeah, Orta Singh was also training him, right?
Yeah, but I can't remember if he dumped her off or not. And because I think she supposedly died, right?
Right.
When she crashed.
Yeah, but then we don't know. So
yeah, I know there's some of that.
I mean, we've seen Darth Maul get cut in half, and then I'm rising from the garbage.
Oh wait, what's his name? Woody Harrelson from Solo. His character killed her because that's how he built his reputation or something like that. Like everyone said, "Oh, you're the one that killed Aurra Singh."
That's right.
So,
but I'm still thinking there could have easily been a lot of time in between where she could have been training him.
Could be.
So, and as far as so Muchi is not my instant reaction or connection was, oh, Muchi is the Rancor that we see in Jabba's palace, but it's not, because Muchi is a female adolescent, and the Rancor that we see in Return of the Jedi is named Patissa, who is actually male.
Right.
And that's why when Bib Fortuna arrives with another character I can't even remember to pick up Muchi, I was thinking like, where's Balakili, the Rancor caretaker?
Yeah, the crying fat dude.
Yeah. I'm like, where is he? And it was like, oh, okay. Now that I know that that's not the same Rancor, it makes sense. So I'm like, okay. So, but yeah, I'm liking the episodes. Definitely nothing, not very like, oh my God, like, nothing like that. But I think it's building up to that moment, or perhaps moments, or that episode, and we keep getting, Wrecker keeps getting like, oh, my brain is hurting. Something in my head is hurting.
Yeah.
And Hunter sees it, like, you okay? Like, and I'm like, holy shit, it's just gonna be a switch sooner or later, and he's just gonna turn. So really interesting to see what happens next. So this is the 5th episode. We supposedly have, I think, 14 to 16 episodes.
Yeah, because I mean, that's if you count like the first hour and a half we got as 3 episodes. Then we would have 13 or 14 or something like that.
Right. So there's still a bunch of story to get to.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. Like the thing about these guys is I feel like they could kill them all off in an interesting way, and it would still be a good story. They don't have to survive. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that kind of gives them the leeway, but I don't see them doing something like that with, I don't know. I mean, who knows, man? So they're sprinkling in some stuff in here that's kind of dark, and I'm like, are you warming up the audience for the last 5 episodes to be extremely dark? I don't know what they're doing, so I'm curious.
Right. Yeah. Who knows? These characters obviously are very popular. To warrant their own spin-off series, because when they released season 7 last year, these were aside from the Maul Ahsoka episodes and the finale, the Bad Batch episodes were, it garnered a lot of reaction from fans, positive reaction from fans. And then they announced this, they announced that they were making the Bad Batch spin-off series like a month or like weeks after or something like that. Not too long after that season 7 was wrapped up. They could die. I'm thinking they're not gonna kill him off. They're introducing us here, and we could get a live action series, or maybe not a live action series. We could see them in live action sooner or later in another series. Why not? Disney likes their money.
I mean, as long as Hunter survives, because he's my favorite at this point.
Oh
just,
yeah.
Like they're showing like little hints and stuff like that of actually how strong he is.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like he overpowered the guard from the whip after he's getting tased.
Right.
And then
right.
he literally was overpowering Shand until she headbutted him. So
Yeah.
I wonder if that's foreshadowing his fight with Wrecker. If this happens.
Interesting. Yep.
You know? Like I have like I don't know. We don't really see him fight too much to where he's fighting for a long period of time to see how strong he really is. So I don't know, man. And that's what I'm saying. Like maybe they kill off Crosshair and Wrecker, and then we're only stuck with 3. Who knows? You know, they could do all kinds of cool stuff.
And then Omega could be the last one, because we all know Alpha is the beginning and Omega is the end. So
yeah. Oh, I saw a really funny meme today. It was the Step Brothers.
Oh yeah. Daniel Logan posted that too.
Oh, it was like step clones, and it shows like Boba and Omega.
Yeah. Yep.
That was great. But yeah, she's pretty smart, man. I mean, at least she's not to Kuya's point, she doesn't got that teen angst. Like she's actually doing what she's told. The only reason why she went and helped them was because those guys were searching the ship. And she had to leave. Right, and she knew something was up. So I like that a lot. Like I don't dislike her character in any way. I'm just curious as of right now what their play is. So yeah, that's the Bad Batch episode 5. And so we're moving on to one of the biggest pieces of news this week that dropped. This is from NPR.org. And this is all about Amazon. So Amazon makes a deal to buy MGM for nearly $8.5 billion. So it says here, Amazon has made a deal to buy Hollywood studio MGM for almost $8.5 billion. It's the second largest acquisition for the company after purchasing Whole Foods. The tech company already runs a film studio, Prime Video streaming service, and video game streaming site Twitch. But the MGM deal is its biggest move into entertainment. Amazon will get the rights to the Golden Age Studios film and television library. So, and that's part of what it does make sense from that perspective. It says here, MGM's catalog includes more than 4,000 films, including such pop culture staples as Moonstruck, Legally Blonde, Rocky, The Pink Panther, The Silence of the Lambs, and Poltergeist. And of course, you can't forget Stargate, RoboCop, and this British Secret Service agent from MI6, James Bond.
Fuck.
So, what was that?
Fuck them.
It's kind of scary, man. I mean, they're getting their own Infinity Gauntlet and adding the gems to it.
Well, they're pretty much saying, fuck you, Disney, fuck you, Warner Brothers, fuck you, everyone else. We're Amazon, and we're gonna go toe to toe with you guys. So it makes sense from that perspective for them to compete, to really keep going, because when you look at what Disney did, before buying Lucasfilm and Star Wars, before buying Marvel, they really didn't have, Disney did not have, they cornered the market on the girls market as far as Disney princesses. They had that, no problem. But what they were missing was the boys, was getting the boys market, So and this is what I'm speaking like before the Star Wars and the Marvel acquisitions, right? So And that's why they took risks on Tron Legacy, because they wanted that boy market. They took risks on the Lone Ranger because, again, but again, when you look at how those did, I mean, Tron Legacy could be argued like, yes, we should have gotten the sequel already years ago. And had they done that, there's a very passionate fan base for the Tron franchise, but that didn't happen. Not until, of course, they realized like, hey, let's buy Marvel. And when they bought Marvel, they realized that, hey, now we can, and you got it all over the parks, and you see what they've done with Marvel and just the superhero comic book film genre and how that's changed. And of course, when they bought Star Wars, they really solidified. And of course, not just back then, their thinking was just very skewed in just, oh, we just need a boys market. But now when you look at it, Marvel and Star Wars, you could easily say that it's not just for boys, it's for everyone. It's for boys, girls, you name it. It's for anyone and everyone. And that's why, they have different ethnicities represented. They have, all these characters from all these backgrounds. So as far as Amazon, they realize like they have some content where they're trying to get, but they don't have something as what they call IP or intellectual property that's been established for many years. And so that's why they went for something big like this for MGM, because they've got James Bond, they've got RoboCop, Rocky, and their plan, of course, is aside from owning those films and the rights to stream those films, their plan, of course, is to make new content based on those franchises and those properties. So we're going to get either a new Rocky film series, or it could be a streaming series, a new RoboCop film, or a series of films, or maybe it's a series as well. Who knows? The sky.
Who cares?
Well, the hardcore fans may not like it, but their goal is, of course, I'm sure the goal is to appease or to lure the hardcore fans, but their goal also is to introduce new fans to these properties.
So I want to say this real quick. People out there, please, please, please do your due diligence. Be like Galactus and start gobbling up as much physical copies as you can. Gobble them up. Suck them in. Because these motherfuckers are going to keep doing this nonsense. It's going to keep happening. And we're going to have to keep paying for it. And you guys are going to go, I have to pay for Paramount Plus. I have to pay for Disney Plus. I have to pay, because we can't be original with the Plus shit. But that's a discussion for another day. I have to pay for HBO Max. You wouldn't have had to if you just gobbled these physical copies like I'm telling you. Gobble them up as much as you can. All of us need to do it. All the Criterion, anything that's out there, gobble it up. And we'll trade, because these motherfuckers need to bend the knee. And this is not the way they've been. Like, we can't keep putting more and more and more money into subscription services. This is pushing us further and further away from cutting the cord as they were establishing this streaming war in the first place. This is what this streaming war was supposed to be established for in the first place with Netflix and everybody. It was to cut the cord, and we're getting further and further. We might as well go back to the fucking cord. At this rate, we might as well go back to the cord, because we're paying more for streaming than we would just having cable. This is nonsense. It's fuckwit shit. It's fuckwit shit.
We've cut the cord, but I guess we've cut
the cord. Yeah, we've cut the cord, but we put the virtual Wi-Fi tube up our ass.
That's right. We've gone wireless. So
exactly. It's fuckwit shit.
So a quote from the Variety article. It says Jeff Bezos says Amazon will reimagine MGM IPs for the 21st century. So there
he's going to reimagine putting cocks in people's mouths more and more because that's what people are going to do. They're going to suck the Jeff Bezos, or excuse me, lick the lollipop.
Well, so, when you compare all the streaming services, Netflix is solely streaming, although they are going to begin dabbling in video games. Disney, of course, is multimedia. And so is HBO Max. HBO Max is primarily streaming and content. But when you look at Amazon varies in that they've got your streaming, but we've also got your groceries and all the stuff that you love to buy at the store. We'll ship it right to you in 2 days for free. Or if in some cities, you'll get it within the same day from the moment you tap order. So that's the thing that they that differs them from all the other, and whether we like it or not, the streaming wars is still going to ravage on. The only thing here is that they are really going to do their best into hopefully putting out the best content, because whatever streaming show or film garners, word of mouth and social media chatter, that's what people will tend to flock to. If it's a viral hit, if it's a absolute sensation. So
that's all well and good, but they're not going to put out the best content. You and I both know. Let's cut the bullshit. Let's cut the bullshit. You and I both know with this streaming war and this continuing stacking on like Tetris, they're not going to put out the best content. At best, they're going to put out the very bare minimum, and a couple will slide out. For every Stranger Things, for every Boys, for every fucking Bride or Handmaid's Tale, we're going to get muck fuck and a mock of them and they and her. Like, let's not be daft here. We know that we know where this is going. Now, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. I'm challenging all you fucks out there. All you fuck with streaming services. Prove me wrong. That's all you gotta do. Prove me wrong, and I'll be glad to empty my pockets. But I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. And most people with a brain, hopefully, will not do it. But we live in a brain dead society, so there you go. But most people that have common sense will not fork out this money to brain dead fair, middle of the road bullshit. Like if you're smart at best, you'll go back on. Oh, Stranger Things has got a new season. I'll put my money in. Take it out then. Oh shit, The Boys is coming back. But are you really gonna sit there and pay for that shit when you're getting muck rake, middle of the road bullshit? Oh, I'm paying for this service because I'm waiting 8 months down the road for The Boys. Stop. So
again, my argument with this, for Amazon Prime Video, you're not necessarily paying just for that service.
I know you're getting diapers and you're getting video games. I get it. But we're not just talking about Amazon here in the streaming wars.
Right.
That's an anomaly in the system. We're talking about the overall spectrum of the streaming wars, and the overall spectrum of the streaming wars. These guys can't do average middle of the road bullshit anymore. They can't.
Right. Well, speaking of streaming wars, so Netflix released, from their Netflix Film, they have several social media accounts. From Netflix Film, for Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead, would you guys like to take a guess on how many households have watched at least once Army of the Dead?
22 million.
22 million? Jester, what's your guess?
Oh, I'm surprised they even released the number. Usually they're pretty hush-hush about it.
Yeah, I know.
When it does well, Netflix will.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Ooh. All right. I'll top Pinhead. 30 million?
Too low.
Wow.
72 million households are betting on Dead.
Damn.
Army of the Dead has been the #1 film around the world and is projected to be one of Netflix's most popular films ever in its first 4 weeks. And
Wow.
to that, I say congratulations to Zack Snyder and to Netflix Film and to Netflix itself for giving us a solid number, unlike Warner Brothers / Warner Media, who could not give us anything for Snyder Cut, but they'll release, it did lower than Kong versus Godzilla. But then but by the way they rated it, Kong versus Godzilla released at the beginning of the second quarter and not the first. They're just fucking bullshit. Anyway, what I'm excited about is that now at least Zack Snyder obviously has something with Netflix, and it's just the beginning of a working relationship that will work well for him. And he's pretty much said in interviews while he was doing press interviews and promotion for Army of the Dead that he's essentially done with working on other intellectual property. He's just going to work on his original stuff, on the stuff that he's been wanting to work on, which I say, you know what, go for it. If they're not going to give us the continuation of the Snyderverse, which again, and by the way, Warner Brothers, this was just released. It's amazing. It astounds me that we're finding out all this information after the fact, of course. So I think it was the guy who's working on the score for the Flash film, if I'm not mistaken, has supposedly said that one of the first things that Warner Brothers cut from Zack Snyder's original Justice League cut was Flash running through the Speed Force to save the whole world.
Oh my gosh.
They did not understand it. Warner Brothers did not understand the point or the concept.
That's the best damn scene in the whole movie, dude.
Exactly.
That's where I literally was like, oh my gosh, what the hell is going on?
Exactly. So when you have studio heads, executives who don't understand the point of the Flash, which one of his main fucking power is speed and being able to go back through time to save the whole, not just the whole world, but the fucking Justice League, and you cut that out, like, holy shit.
So stupid.
It just shows the incompetence and the lack of understanding of the source material and the characters and the everything. Like, holy shit. So and the fact that go ahead.
No, I'm just this just pisses me off. First of all, that's ridiculous because, like you said, but with this news about Army of the Dead, my opinions aside of how the movie was to me, this is why I know people have their issues with Netflix, but the reason why I like Netflix is because they let creators do whatever the hell they want. And to see the success of creators doing whatever the hell they want being a massive success is good news for the future of new people coming in and doing the projects they want to do. I mean, for crying out loud, how many animators and artists did Netflix steal from Disney because they could do whatever they wanted? AKA, we got Love, Death, and Robots where they're doing whatever the hell they want, and it's it's bonkers, but it's interesting.
Right.
So it's good news, and I'm happy for Zach. Unfortunately, I'm saddened to hear we're not going to get any more Justice League and good DC stuff.
As far as we know, they still could announce something. I'm still holding out hope, maybe, but
that's adorable.
Common sense would also just dictate that they should have already done it.
Yeah, exactly.
They've already announced something after the success that it was, and just the word of mouth and the social media chatter and the people just losing their fucking minds that this movie is actually good. And it's not just 30 more minutes of deleted scenes or of bullshit.
The ego. It's the ego of Warner Brothers that's the reason why we're not getting it.
So, yeah. It blows my mind. But I'm still, who knows? But you know, if it's not gonna happen, then I'm willing to accept it. Fine. At least the fans still won in the fact that we still got the Snyder Cut. That is still a big accomplishment in itself. But you know, who knows? We'll see. And then of course, other DC news. This one just broke like yesterday or 2 days ago. From the Hollywood Reporter, Todd Phillips has struck a deal to co-write the next Joker installment. So it appears that we are going to be getting more of Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, which I'm game. I'm down to see more of that character. But I don't know how you could do another film without somehow introducing
Batman.
I don't know, Batman himself. Like
Batman. Like, come on, dude. Like, how else are you gonna make that movie without Batman?
Right. And that's the genius of the first film that I thought was like, I see why, you know, because, and again, that first film, Warner Brothers did not want to do that film. They didn't want to take a gamble on it. But, you know, surprisingly, they did for a rated R film, not focused on a hero, but the villain. But of course, they show you and they give you a story to allow you to connect and feel for the character and understand why, you know, such a character would go batshit crazy. We do get the Bruce Wayne there and his parents, but no Batman at all. And that film ended up being $1 billion film in the box office. And Warner Brothers was like, "Oh my God, we made $1 billion with a Joker, with an R-rated Joker film," you know. And you guys are fucking surprised. Like you guys obviously don't understand your material and your characters. Like of all the characters that would make $1 billion, of course, it's Joker. Why not? I mean, if Heath Ledger was still alive, and you know, Nolan, of course, would have done The Dark Knight Rises, we could have seen a different Batman film where Heath Ledger's Joker would have been back. You know, I don't see why they would just, if he was still alive, that they would have not have him return.
He was supposed to return.
Huh?
He was supposed to return.
Yeah, right. So, you know, and that's the thing. I mean, say what you will about Batman, but he is their cash cow. You know, that the character and the universe and the character itself. I mean, we're getting a brand new Batman film next year with Robert Pattinson's Batman, with Matt Reeves' Batman. So, you know,
which looks surprisingly good.
He's the Spider-Man of DC for sure, because it doesn't matter how much comics keep falling into the sea like they're doing. Batman and Spider-Man comics still fly off the shelves.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're absolutely recognizable.
They're the only thing keeping comics alive right now, apparently.
So, and then we also got news for HBO Max. So the directors for Bad Boys for Life, Adil El Arbi and Bilal Fallah, are set to direct the upcoming Batgirl film for HBO Max. So this is from the Hollywood Reporter. And Christina Hodson, who wrote Bumblebee, and she also wrote Birds of Prey and the Flash film, is going to be writing this film. Now, a few years ago, we had this guy called Joss Whedon, who was supposed to make the Batgirl film.
Oh, yeah, right. Really? He was supposed to make it?
Yeah, he was attached to it. And then,
oh man!
And then out of nowhere, they announced like, oh, he just couldn't come up with something. And I'm like, you couldn't come up with something, really? Out of all that you've done, you couldn't come up with a story or like a treatment for Batgirl, a script for like that doesn't make sense. But who knows what was already happening back then? So yeah, But I'll take these guys. I'll take Christina Hodson over Joss asshole Whedon to get more work. Knowing what we know now, of course, after everything that he's done. I mean, threatening Gal Gadot's career, who was already an established star. He pretty much threatened her, and there is a video clip of her being interviewed from international media, and when you read the captions, she's speaking in a different language. I can't remember what exact language, but
she's Israeli, right?
Yeah. So she basically admits that he threatened her. He threatened to end her career if she wasn't going to do what he wanted her to do during the reshoots for Justice League. And she handled it. She talked to Warner Brothers brass immediately, and they handled it. But of course, for up and comer like Ray Fisher, for the longest time, everyone was saying, "Oh, he's just looking for attention." When in fact, what he was saying was all the truth. So yeah, what gets me is why Batgirl is going straight to HBO Max. I'm hoping that this changes. I think Batgirl should be a movie on the big screen because you've got a lot of Batgirl fans and just people who know the character from all sorts of media that would love to see this on the big screen and not just HBO Max. So
yeah, and the people that are working hard on this project deserve a lot more respect than that. I mean, and I'm not knocking HBO Max, but if you're gonna give Birds of Prey the push, you should give Batgirl the push too. There's no reason not to do it.
Right.
You're doing Supergirl and you're touting all these things, but you're saying, kick rocks to Batgirl. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Right. And
it makes me wonder where the Supergirl movie will go if they're doing this with Batgirl,
Right. And I mean, it's in the character's name. We know Batman is the cash cow. Why wouldn't you put Batgirl on the biggest screen possible?
Exactly.
And you could still go stream it to HBO Max, day and date, whatever. Because that's
fine.
That's actually done well for Warner Brothers and HBO Max, streaming these films day and date. We saw it in Godzilla versus Kong. A lot of people came out to see in the theater, so why wouldn't you?
I would just hate to think that you gave a mediocre film like Mortal Kombat a full release on both, and then you give Batgirl
seriously
bottom feeder shit. It's unacceptable.
Right. So another piece of DC news, this was from last week. I did not get to mention this. I totally forgot, but this is huge. So Warner Brothers Animation, or Home Entertainment, confirmed that they are working on an Injustice animated film.
Hell yeah.
Ooh, that might be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. One more time.
So I'm like, we're essentially getting bits and pieces of it and teases in Zack Snyder's motherfucking Justice League. And if they just say, oh, we'll do the second film, my God, all the things that we could see in live action. But to this, I'm still excited because at least we're still getting something. But, and then, of course, we've got Green Lantern, the Green Lantern Corps. We've got Jeremy Irvine I have no idea who this actor is, but he's reportedly in negotiations to play Alan Scott in HBO Max's The Green Lantern series. So apparently he's from films such as War Horse, and I believe the TV series Treadstone, which is a spin-off of the Bourne series. So
gross. Nobody cares.
Let's see. Let me find. I know there was more news to it that was recently announced. But yeah, again, Green Lantern, we could have seen a brand new. We could have seen, what's his name? Oh my goodness, John. What's Green Lantern's name in Justice League, the animated series?
As a Hal Jordan or a John Stewart?
John Stewart. We could have seen John
that would've
motherfucking
been
Stewart
awesome.
in live action
But no, we don't
in
get
Zack
that.
Snyder's Justice League. But, Warner Brothers is like, no, we're going to do it. So,
Well, we don't like black people around there, so.
yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I didn't mean to-
but hey, we're making a Superman with a black Clark Kent and a black Superman. So we love black people.
Exactly. That's all for show.
But, Ray Fisher, shut the fuck up. Like, shut the fuck up.
Exactly. Dance, monkey.
So from Variety.com, Green Lantern, HBO Max. So yeah, Jeremy Irvine is cast as gay superhero Alan Scott. So this is the first Green Lantern, the classic Green Lantern. And supposedly we're going to be seeing the story will span. Okay, so the story spans decades and galaxies, beginning on Earth, 1941 with Scott, and then heading to 1984 with cocky alpha male Guy Gardner. So they did cast an actor for Guy Gardner. If you're not familiar with Guy Gardner, he is another Green Lantern human from Earth, but he's very cocky. He's pretty much an asshole. I don't know why he became a Green Lantern. Like, what the
Isn't
fuck?
that everything against the Green Lantern credo? Like,
yes and no. I guess you could be an asshole.
I defer to you guys. I don't know the shit about, but
you just can't be a pussycat. You got to be you got to be a hard ass. You can't.
Also,
you can't flinch like from fear, but you can be an asshole because I guess there's what's his face from goodness gracious.
So you can rape women and beat the shit out of them, but as long as you're not afraid of heights, you're good. Like, what are you telling me here? Like,
no. So I'm referring to Sinestro.
The Yellow Corp.
Right. Well, he was first a Green Lantern. I guess he's not necessarily.
I understand that.
Yeah, he's not necessarily an asshole, but he's bordering on the line of like.
So, if you ask certain people, he might be the hero of the story.
Right.
Seriously.
So other lanterns that will be featured in the series include the aforementioned Guy Gardner, Bree Jarta, Simon Baz, Jessica Cruz. Also being featured in the series is famous Green Lantern villain Sinestro. However, before he takes his villainous turn, he will be seen as one of the Green Lanterns. The series will connect to the upcoming movie, which they have not officially announced yet. And John and Hal, so John Stewart and Hal Jordan, those two big famous Green Lanterns, you're not going to see them in this series. We're saving them for the movie. Oh, by the way, we could have fucking introduced them, and we could have introduced one of them in Zack Snyder's Justice League. But no, we're going to handle it, Zack. We'll take it from here.
So if they're not going to do that, then why don't you just go to my favorite lanterns? Where the Red Lanterns at?
Right.
If we're gonna fuck around and we're not gonna do Hal and then let's go straight to the Red Lanterns because I love the Red Lanterns.
Right. There is a Green Lantern animated series from years ago, and they introduced the Red Lanterns.
Oh.
So I
link that to me because I love the Red Lanterns. That's because I don't know much about the Lantern, but when the Red Lanterns were introduced, that's when I read and then fell off, and I started reading a lot of that.
Yeah,
I love the Red Lanterns.
So it is on HBO Max. Green Lantern. Okay, Green Lantern, the animated series.
Are you talking about that 3D type series?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'll check it out.
There's only one season, but
I know. Yeah.
I remember watching it, and I was really digging it. Yeah, they have the Red Lantern there.
I'm checking it out then.
Yeah, they have the Red.
That's my next binge.
and the Blue Lanterns. It looks like the blue Lanterns. Yep.
I don't know anything about the Blue Lanterns, so
Yeah, I need to dive more into Green Lantern comics.
Me too, man, because it's fascinating.
So believe it or not, Jeff Johns, who the co-conspirator of one Joss Whedon, and he's still working, and he's, say what you will, I mean, he has actually done a lot for DC Comics as far as, you know, revamping the Green Lantern story, the Flash. I think he was responsible for Flashpoint, and also Aquaman in the New 52, and reintroducing the characters and, you know, making them more not necessarily believable, but just making them more endearing in the comics. So but yeah, the green as far as the spectrum of different not just Green Lanterns, but the different color spectrums. So let's see, give me the breakdown here. So the White Lanterns basically are all about life. Red is rage. Orange is avarice. Yellow is fear. Green, of course, is willpower. Blue is hope. Indigo is compassion. Violet is love. Black is death. So
nice.
Yeah.
I would definitely fit in with the Red Lantern Corps.
Yeah, I mean, eventually it would be really cool whenever we get that Green Lantern movie series, and if they even get to make a trilogy of sorts, or an actual series or a crossover, that we'll eventually get to see all the spectrum of lanterns.
That would be awesome. They need to make a Krypton type Green Lantern series where we just get the whole spectrum. Because a lot of the people, before Krypton was canceled, a lot of people really enjoyed that series. They were loving it. They liked the way the story was being told, from what they saw from before Clark Kent comes to Earth and all this shit. Like, people really dug the Krypton series before it was canceled.
Right. I need to finish that because what they were building to was really fascinating.
Yeah, I know, and that's what a lot of people were telling me. Like in my like in the circles, like they were telling me, like this is the series to watch, because it goes beyond just being a comic book fan. So
right,
and like you said, they're really building something really good, and then they just canceled it.
Right. So moving on, I guess I wasn't planning for DC news, but I'm now realizing, like, yeah, there is a bunch of news, which is cool. Why not? So one more piece of DC news, not necessarily news, but it's gaining some buzz online. Superman and Lois, the episodes and what they're building to. So what really got me excited is, and I haven't been up to date. So now I'm gonna do a deep dive and get back into them. I don't know why they had it on HBO Max for a limited time. They took it off. Like, can you just leave it there? Because the CW app sucks. It really sucks. Like, I would watch it on the CW app, and then, you know, there'd be commercial. That's fine. And then once in a while, it'll start like glitching, and then I'm trying to rewind or track it back a bit, and then it's gonna give me shit. And then
that's one thing I hate about that app. Yeah. And I don't know what they're doing with this show, because you were talking about that and HBO Max, and it's also on full syndication now on TNT. And that's rare that the transition period goes that quick. Like, right. That's quick.
Well, because Warner Media, AT&T owns TNT as well.
No, I understand that, but
right.
What I'm saying is, so it took a long time for them to get Supergirl on there. It took them a lot longer. It took them a longer time to get Supergirl on TNT than it did Superman and Lois. So that's all I'm saying.
Right. Yeah, I just wish they kept it on HBO Max, because HBO Max is easier to use, and they put it there for limited time, and now it's gone.
It's
So,
good.
I mean, eventually, I think they're gonna put it back there when the season 1 is done. But I mean, come on.
What's the point? What's the point? Like, why are you doing this?
Can you just make it easy? I mean, if you make it easier for people to watch the show, people will watch it.
Exactly.
People want to watch it, will watch it. So anyway,
it's called free promotion.
Right. What's gotten me really excited about Superman and Lois is that they introduced a character from Superman comics, and the character is in the series. The character's name is John Henry Irons, who is essentially Steel. So he wears a suit of armor and has a Superman cape, and he has a big like steel hammer, because he is essentially based off of the historical figure, or is it a historical figure or lore?
John Henry.
Yeah, of John Henry. So they introduced that character in the show, and I guess his niece as well. So I saw that on Instagram, and I was like, what the hell? So that got me excited, because one of my favorite Superman stories, graphic novels, is the collection of The Death of Superman, which is where I was first introduced to Guy Gardner, who at that time did not have a Green Lantern ring. Now that I think of it, he had a yellow ring. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on now? And then
let me ask you a quick question, Mike.
Yeah.
That mean we're gonna get a reprisal of Shaquille O'Neal in the old suit again?
Right? Oh, so there is an article from Variety, if I'm not mistaken, that mentions what's happening currently as far as Superman and Lois right now, and the character of Captain Luthor. So I read some stuff about it. I'm like, oh, okay. So now you got me. Now I'm going to go back into the show, because I did stop watching it when the Snyder Cut came out. Nothing else mattered but that, of course. But now it's time to, because I'm seeing people buzz about the show, and I'm seeing people talking about it. And now I'm getting really excited, because people are just raving about this Superman show that is supposedly really, really good. I mean, I've liked the first, few episodes that I've seen.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm excited to dive back into it. Alrighty. So moving on, we have, let's move on to some Marvel news.
Oh, God.
Well, this one is from Marvel and Sony. So we have Kraven the Hunter. He's been cast.
Yeah, this is stupid, though.
It's not a new actor. It's not It's not particularly a new actor that's going to be in the new a newcomer to the superhero franchise. It's Aaron Taylor Johnson, also known as Quicksilver from that one Avengers movie, where
Age of Ultron.
Age of Ultron, where you didn't see that coming? I'm really fast, but I'll catch the bullets.
With my back.
Hold on. I need one for this. Continue.
How many have you downed?
This will be the 5th one.
Holy shit.
Ow.
Since we started?
Yep.
Holy shit.
And that's light work.
I thought that was like your second one or third one. Like,
that's light work.
Jeez. Okay. So this one is from TheWrap.com. Aaron Taylor Johnson to play Spider-Man villain Kraven the Hunter. So, believe it or not, other actors that have been approached for the role, one of them has been Keanu Reeves.
Oh, he would have been great. Really?
Yeah.
Dude, why didn't he take it?
He
would have been awesome as Kraven.
He was probably like, the Matrix needs Neo.
I'm still doing John Wick 15.
I swear I saw it in an Instagram post. I'm trying to find it. Yeah, so other actors that Sony approached to play Kraven before landing on Aaron Taylor Johnson is Brad Pitt.
Ooh.
Keanu Reeves. John David Washington.
Okay.
That's a nice touch.
And one more, Adam Driver.
Oh, come on.
Okay, and that's you really
I know.
those
They had
that dude.
four amazing picks, and they picked
You
the
blew it.
same guy that
You
was in
blew it.
Age of Ultron. What? Oh my
You didn't
gosh.
see that
You blew
coming?
it. You blew it.
Oh my gosh, dude. Adam Driver, even dude. I'm sorry, man. Washington would have been awesome. That would have been a great pick.
Washington would have been
Yeah.
perfection, and Adam Driver would have been
Close
fantastic.
second.
Keanu Reeves, I think, would have been awesome. Adam Driver would have. Any one of those would have been awesome.
Dude, why did we get this?
Lady Gaga would have been better than this shit.
Oh my gosh, this is so stupid. Why did they do that?
This is Sony, correct?
Sony. This is Sony.
No
Marvel.
wonder why. Fuck with nature.
We're not Disney Marvel. We're Great Value brand Marvel.
Exactly. We're Dollar Tree. We're Robert Kopp version of Marvel.
So stupid, man.
So for Sony's upcoming Marvel movie slate, so the next film we're getting, of course, is Venom 2, which will be released in September 24. And then, of course, in partnership with Disney and Marvel, Spider-Man 3, Spider-Man Far Away From Home? Yeah, December 17, 2021.
No Way Home, right?
Or No Way Home. Yeah, thank you. No Way Home.
Yeah.
Now,
something about home.
With all the
Spider-Man, find your own fucking way home.
Yeah, get the fuck home. So, and then, so Spider-Man. So we're getting 2 this year. So Venom 2 and Spider-Man 3. And Morbius, which we were supposed to get this year, but they pushed it back to next year, January 28th, starring Jester's favorite, Jared Leto. By the way, there is a Teen Titans clip of Beast Boy impersonating. It's Beast Boy. Is it Beast Boy and then Robin?
I think it's Robin that impersonates.
Robin impersonates Jared Leto.
Correct. Yeah, and the Beast Boy and
does Jack Nicholson. He does
Heath Ledger too.
Heath Ledger's Joker. And then but yeah, it's hilarious.
He does Mark Hamill's at the end, and that's the one
right.
that took the
right.
cake.
Yeah. Mark Hamill's Joker from Batman the Animated Series. It's a great clip. I shared it with you guys. I shared it on some other fan groups. It's hilarious.
So
and
funny.
It's just, I would have liked it though if they also did Jared Leto's Joker from the Snyder Cut. That would have been cool too.
Oh yeah, that would have been a nice ad.
But I kind of took it as if Robin is an interesting choice if the theory that Jared Leto's Joker was formerly Jason Todd.
Right.
Robin, I was like, ooh, what are you trying to say? I'm like, holy shit. Now I'm going to watch this.
That would be awesome.
Right? So, all right. So, check that clip out. I'm sure you can YouTube it. Teen Titans, Joker, something like Joker impersonations.
Yeah.
You should be able to find it. Yeah. So, anyway, back to the Sony Marvel movie slate. So, Morbius is January 28, 2022. And then we have Spider-Verse 2, which I'm really excited for. October 7, 2022. And then the Kraven the Hunter film is not due until January 13th, 2023.
Yeah, I don't even care anymore.
Yeah, I mean, looking at those 4 picks, I would have taken any one of those and gotten really excited.
Yep.
I mean, nothing against Aaron Taylor Johnson. I think he's a fine actor. But for Kraven the Hunter...
He's had enough of the fucking roles already.
Yeah.
Godzilla...
Yeah.
Like, how many? What do you want? Do you Globe Goblin? Like, do you need all of them?
Well,
and you're mediocre at best, so you shouldn't be getting that many roles.
Well, he's already in a Marvel movie, you know what I mean? Like, and if they're gonna tie in all the multiverses, you know, with Doctor Strange, hopefully, then what is he doing here? Like, this is so dumb.
And I mean, you get to play Elizabeth Olsen's brother in Age of Ultron, twin brother. And then you die. Then you get to play her husband. I mean, enough. Like,
yeah.
Too much Elizabeth Olsen.
You turn it back. Let the rest of us go.
Yeah. How about have someone else play Elizabeth Olsen's husband? You know,
dude. I can't believe that. Like Washington and Adam Driver. Like, how could you? I mean, of course, Keanu. Like, that just really upsets me.
Keanu, I think I could easily see Keanu. Like,
oh, totally.
Holy
yeah,
shit.
totally.
Yeah, it would have been awesome. But hey, I'm curious to see what he does with Kraven the Hunter. But here's the thing, look. Supposedly, in Spider-Man No Way Home, supposedly it's going. I was reading something earlier. I couldn't. I didn't get to save it, but it's supposedly going to introduce the Spider-Verse in live action.
Right.
So what for me, it's like Venom 2. Okay, we're getting Carnage, cool. But if we're not gonna somehow get Spider-Man at the end for an end credit sequence, or in Venom 3 or some kind of crossover, then it doesn't matter. Like, what's the point? Like,
especially if it doesn't lead to what we all want, which is maximum carnage, where Spider-Man and Venom team up. That has to happen. We've beat around the bush too many fucking times with this shit. Execute it, please.
I heard rumors too that this was supposed to be Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. Tobey Maguire was supposed to be the one in this Venom sequel or whatever like that. But I'm like, how is that even possible when they already did the Venom? Topher Grace's mediocre post Venom in Spider-Man 3.
In that
hell, I wouldn't even mind the way they're setting it up with the Sony universe with all these symbiotes. I wouldn't even mind a separation anxiety type of storyline.
Oh yeah,
where you know what I'm talking about, Jester.
Yeah, I'd take it. Yeah, sure. It's
like, even if that's a happy compromise, let's just do something with these guys together and stop beating around the bush, because you've been cock teasing this shit for decades. Enough is enough.
Yeah,
it's time to produce. Thank you.
Shoot, bring back Adam Garfield's for
whatever.
For
just do something.
Andrew Garfield. Yeah.
Like that'd be kind of cool, and then tie it in with the multiverse. I don't know, something fun. Something cool
just
like that.
Stop pussyfooting around. Enough is enough.
And also, supposedly, Emma Stone was doing press for Cruella, which is now out on Disney Plus and in theaters. She was asked about being in Spider-Man No Way Home, and she said that she's not in it. So the dream, one of the things that I saw like some fans write was like, wouldn't it be cool to see Gwen Stacy in the multiverse, in the Spider-Man No Way Home, in the multiverse, and she's not the same Gwen Stacy of Andrew Garfield. She's from another multiverse, but she's Spider-Gwen.
That'd be cool.
Like, that would be fucking awesome.
That would be
awesome. Like,
fucking spectacular.
You're right. Yeah. In that suit. Like
nice and tight. Ooh, baby girl.
Right? I mean, but like, and that's the thing with that's the thing I was really bummed about with, because I really like Andrew Garfield's Amazing Spider-Man films, both films. The second one, it could have been a little bit better. I mean, it got a little lost in there with all the fucking let's build a Sinister Six. Like, here they are, like half of them, whatever. Oh yeah, we got 3. We got Green Goblin, we got Electro, we got Rhino, we got Paul Giamatti.
Come on, we got Rhino like at the end with his Russian accent. Like, come on, like barely.
Right.
That doesn't count.
And I remember, like, what really got me, of course, was the death of Gwen Stacy at the end, because we've never seen that in live action in any of and that really got me. And like, I love the chemistry of Emma Stone and Andrew Garfield in that first film. It's well done. You can see it. Of course, they were even in a relationship for a while there. So you really see it on screen. And I was hoping after that second film, I was like, man, I can't wait to see the third film. And of course, I'm like, no, we're not gonna finish that story. And I'm like, fuck, are you guys kidding me? And I even said like that I would have preferred the ending of that second film to actually end on a down note where he's just like,
oh yeah, totally,
he's still depressed. But like it, and I was thinking about it like, and then you pick up with a third film where of course, he gets back to his feet or whatever, or he's struggling to be Spider-Man or whatever. But then now that I think about it, how they ended on such a downside and they never got to finish it, that would have been terrible, a terrible message for kids. Because they would have been like, fuck, what happened to Spider-Man? But of course, years late, not too long after, oh, you guys like Spider-Man. So here, we're going to introduce him in Civil War. He's going to get he's gonna get Captain America's shield, and you're all gonna wet yourselves because it's gonna be fucking awesome. And Iron Man's gonna call him, "Hey, Underoos," and he's gonna say, "Hey, everyone," because it's not just him saying, "Hey, everyone" to the Avengers, but it's gonna be Spider-Man saying, "Hey, everyone, I'm in the Marvel Universe, bitches."
Yep. And then I don't know. It's just too much, man. Sony needs to get it together. I like how they're like, well, we can't touch Spider-Man, so let's just manhandle all his villains. That'd be kind of cool, right?
So we can just keep all that money. We don't have to share with Disney.
Yeah, they're just trying so hard to pull their pants up after being bent over by Disney. It's like, come on, guys, just let them have it. Obviously, they got you by the nuts already. Give them the rest.
I don't know if I have to look into it, but supposedly there was a story where bread was thrown or salad was thrown at Kevin Feige, or Kevin Feige did the bread throwing at a Sony executive or something like that.
Oh yeah, dude.
I remember hearing about it somewhere, but I was like,
you just read articles all over the place of like them. They're fighting over that.
Yeah.
Character. And Sony is not giving up that character.
Well,
like it's, you know.
Yeah, because I mean, they realize if they share with Disney, they can still make more money. They can sell the character back, the rights back to Disney, but where's the fun in that?
Right. They don't get the milk.
More money. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can make more money by building the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
But none of that stuff that you want. Like, we'll just throw some random bullshit.
So stupid, bro. I mean, they get like that like little nugget, that gold nugget, you know, into the Spider-Verse. It's like awesome, dude. Like, thank you. But everything else is like, come on, man. I'm so tired of it. Just give me some. I love Spider-Man. Give me some other stuff. Continue with Andrew Garfield. Who cares?
Yeah, the Into the Spider-Verse. That is a fantastic Spider-Man film.
Oh man.
Like,
yeah.
And I'm so glad I saw that in theaters. When I saw that, I was blown away. I was like, holy shit, this is a comic book come to life. Like, yeah, it's amazing. So I'm really looking forward to that sequel. And again, we did also get confirmation, finally, official confirmation from Oscar Isaac that he is Moon Knight.
Yep.
He's going to be playing Moon Knight. So he did post on his social media a very cropped, you can just see his eyes upward, and behind him a lot of concept art and some comic book art of Moon Knight. So he is training right now. He's training. They're doing some fight sequences and training to get into shape. But this is the first official word that he is officially playing Moon Knight. So that's interesting. And by the way, he will be in Into the Spider-Verse 2 as Spider-Man 2099, because at the end, spoilers of Into the Spider-Verse, we get to see Spider-Man 2099, Miguel. I forgot the last name.
That'd be cool. I hope they tie him into the multiverse too. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. And supposedly we're going to be getting the Japanese Spider-Man.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah. By the way, again, I don't know if you guys ever got to check that out. If you mentioned that you like Spider-Man, Jester.
Oh yeah.
Check out on Disney Plus the Marvel 616 series.
Okay. Yeah.
Check out that first episode featuring the Japanese Spider-Man TV show.
Okay, I'll check that out.
Japanese Spider-Man. It's 50 minutes, but it is a fascinating episode focused on the history of the Japanese Spider-Man show and how Stan Lee, say what you will about him and what he did, and he approved it and everything. Like, he was willing to let the character be exposed to a different culture.
Yeah.
So,
that's awesome.
Check out that. So on Disney Plus, Marvel's 616 series, the first episode is all about the Japanese Spider-Man. Uncover the beginnings of Japanese Spider-Man and discover how this cultural crossover took place. It's a fascinating story, and it's just amazing. It's mind-blowing. And the fact that we're gonna get Japanese Spider-Man and Into the Spider-Verse 2, that's fucking awesome. And he's gonna have his bracelet, and he's gonna call his robot. He's gonna call his giant Megazord. That's awesome. Yeah, the story, it's fascinating. And the fact that back then, Marvel was just and Stan Lee was just you don't have to have Peter Parker. do a Japanese Spider-Man for the Japanese, audience. And like, wow, it's really fascinating on how it came together. So, all righty. And then, of course, we got this from a few days ago. We're getting, so it says here, Danai Gurira, who plays Okoye from Black Panther. And, of course, the Avengers Infinity War and Endgame. She will be in an origin spin-off series.
That's Michonne, ain't it? From Walking Dead.
That is Michonne. Yep, that's right. Michonne from The Walking Dead, also known as Okoye. She will be in an origin spin-off series, though it's currently unclear if this is Ryan Coogler's Wakanda series or it's another project.
Okay.
But this is from Instagram Get Fandom. So, but hey, we saw some of the Dora Milaje in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and they fucking kicked ass for the short amount of time that they were there. I mean, give us more. I want all the Dora Milaje. Give me Okoye, and I want to see her get her Starbucks in Wakanda.
Yeah,
because she always mentioned that a Starbucks.
Why can't we ever have a Starbucks or something?
Or just do Dutch Bros. Do Dutch Bros. Fuck Starbucks.
Dutch Bros is so much better.
They don't need.
Starbucks is overrated.
Starbucks doesn't need all the money.
$8 a cup. Come on, man.
Yeah, go to Dutch Bros. And this is a free ad, by the way. Dutch Bros, you get more value and way better customer service. Customer service to the point that you're gonna want to shut your window until you get your drink. They're so friendly.
Like, please shut up and just give me my Italian soda. Like, please.
All they need to do is crawl up inside your car beside you, give you a massage or something. Like,
excuse me, you want me to pump your gas? You want a neck massage while you wait? Excuse me, how's your day going, lady? Just like take my card, please.
What are you doing today? What's happening?
That's awesome. Isn't that cool, guys? Hey guys, this is what they're doing today. Isn't that cool?
But I mean, hey, hats off to them, because for me, it's way better in a sense compared to, like, I guess Starbucks is okay, but the Dutch Bros, they seem to go the extra mile. So,
Oh, totally. Yeah.
As far as customer service, like, hey, I appreciate that. So that's
we all do. It's so much better than what other people are offering these days. So.
Yep. So, all righty, now for some interesting news. So let's see this. Everyone's favorite, well, Pinhead's favorite, Jonathan Cena, making headlines. I ended up typing Jonathan Cena in Google. Damn it. So let's see. John Cena. Let's do a Google search, and the first thing that pops up. So John Cena, NBA, LeBron James. Whoa, this is different. John Cena, NBA, LeBron James need to stop bending the knee to China. I'm like, oh, holy shit. So no, we're going with, CNBC, this is from 2 days ago. John Cena apology after Taiwan comment feels like a forced confession. Free speech advocate says. Oh, okay. Oh, geez. So the story is apparently John Cena. Let's see. Let me find the actual story first. Okay, hold on. But yeah, this is getting a lot of like. So actor so this one is from NBC News. Actor John Cena apologizes to Chinese audience after calling Taiwan a country. Quote, "I love and respect China and Chinese people. I'm very sorry for my mistake," Cena said in a video message recorded in Chinese. The fact that he recorded it in Chinese, like, hey, that's going the extra mile there. You don't have to do that.
Oh yeah, totally.
But I've seen him where he does like.
I'll give him credit. He can speak Mandarin. Like he's fluent. So that wasn't fake. That portion wasn't fake.
That blows my mind that he's fluent in Mandarin.
Yeah, he's fluent. So
holy shit, that's awesome.
That's the only thing that's not fake about the pussy.
So it says here, American actor and wrestling star John Cena has apologized on Chinese social media after getting tangled up in geopolitics scandal by calling Taiwan a country. In an interview to Taiwanese broadcaster TVBS earlier this month, Cena sparked controversy while promoting the 9th installment of the Fast and Furious franchise when he said, Taiwan, quote, Taiwan is the first country to watch Fast and Furious 9. Beijing claims the self-governing island as part of its territory and has threatened to annex it by force if necessary. Even though Taiwan has its own government, democratic elections, and army, most governments around the world don't recognize it as a country. On Tuesday, Cena, 44, posted a video message that he recorded in Mandarin on Chinese social network Weibo, in which he said that he had done many interviews for Fast and Furious 9, and during one interview, he quote, made a mistake. Quote, I must say right now, it's very, 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 very important. Cena said, quote, I love and respect China and Chinese people. I'm very, very sorry for my mistake. He did not elaborate on what exactly he was apologizing for and did not directly mention Taiwan. Cena has a considerable presence on Weibo with more than 600,000 followers. He has been learning Mandarin for several years, according to media reports. Some Weibo users were critical of Cena's apology and called it insincere or lacking conviction. One wrote, quote, it's the Western political correctness. He wants Chinese people to forgive him, but he also doesn't want to offend idiot Taiwan and the West, quote. However, some were more forgiving. Quote, some of the comments here are really too aggressive, one said. I think we should sit down and chat about it in a less intense way. Foreigners don't necessarily know China's politics, just like we don't necessarily know their politics, which is, okay, that's actually an understand. That's a good point. Like, I agree. Yeah. You know, as far as the world news, like you can turn on CNN, yeah, and you can see what's going on in another country, but it doesn't mean that that's the only thing going on. There could be other things going on, you know, unless you really take a deep dive into, you know, and you watch their news network on what they're seeing, then that's something else. So it says here, of course, China is the world's second largest film market, of course, and that's why. But you know, from what he said, you know, and it makes sense. You do these press interviews, you see these actors. It's part of in a sense, a grueling process because it's seeing a bunch of people and getting virtually the same questions asked over and over and over and over and over again. And yes, it's part of the job. It's a small, you know, price to pay for the glitz and the glamour and the $1 million paychecks. But I can see to a point by doing something over and over again, like you could easily make a mistake. And it's not like they're on our time zone. If they're actually over there, they're, you know, you're dealing with jet lag and time difference and all that stuff. So I don't know. Like people are just like, wow, like you already apologized. What do you want? Oh, that's insincere. Like goodness gracious. And I mean, bonus points. I mean, Pinhead validated it first before I even read it. That the fact that he said, yeah, I've seen video of him online speaking in Mandarin. And at first I was like, is this real? But it's legit.
No, he's fluent. I know my arch rival very well.
Right. So, and to this, I want to say, so in 1996, Michael Jackson visited the Philippines. He was on his History World Tour. I had the option to go to the concert by myself or have a bowling party with my friends for my birthday. And I was thinking, because like my dad was like, I can get you a ticket, but it's just going to be me because the tickets are pricey. And I was like, I don't really feel like going to a concert by myself in a fucking crowd. Like, you know, as much as I want to see Michael Jackson, but the fact that the ticket that I was going to get, I would be way back. And to even appreciate Michael's, I need to bring binoculars to even see him because I'd be way back in this open field concert, whatever. So when Michael Jackson was, they did televise the concert eventually, which I was like, yay, like that was awesome. When they televised it, so in the city that Michael Jackson was performing, the specific city he was performing in is called Parañaque City. But when Michael Jackson was addressing the crowd, he just kept saying, "I love you, Manila," which is the capital of the Philippines. Okay. And granted, Parañaque City is in Metro Manila. But the specific city that his concert was in was Parañaque City. But it's pretty tough for Michael Jackson, talented as he is, to say Parañaque. Mm-hmm. It's easier to say Manila because Manila, everyone can say Manila because it sounds like vanilla. You just replace a letter.
Right.
So, and the Filipino people love Michael Jackson. And when he said, "I love you, Manila," they were just cheering. No one was complaining, but he wasn't saying, "Oh, he couldn't say," because it's fucking hard to say for someone who's not born there or used to the dialect. You can't, it's not easy to say Parañaque.
Right.
It's easier to say Manila. So, and to that, like, it's not necessarily the same thing that John Cena did, but I'm trying to relate it to it as like the guy made a mistake. Like,
yeah.
Like, I don't think it was intentional of him to, and the fact that he knows Mandarin shows that he has an appreciation for the culture and for his fans.
Yeah.
And I don't think that he, if people are trying to like spin it as, "Oh, he just did that to cause a stir or like make it go viral or whatever." I don't think it's that, because you can go viral without having to offend anyone and affect the performance of your movie.
I think that's an honest
But he had no choice.
No, I know, but because people are so
I hate to
uprise.
defend Jonathan, but and without getting political, he had no choice. Those people, the people of that group are fantastic. The government won't put up with that shit, and that's why he had to bend the knee. The government made him do that.
There you go.
That government over there made him do that because, let's not be daft here, they have killed people for less over there.
Mm-hmm.
Far less. We've seen it. It's leaked out. So he had no choice but to apologize. He had to bend the knee because he's their white monkey.
We should accept the apology and move
that's the fact of it. You either bend the knee or you're out. And for all of you out there who go, why did he do it? You want to know what the most powerful market on the branch is right now? It's not the American market. It's the Chinese market. Hate to break that to you, but it's a fact. The Chinese market is, as far as box office goes, especially right now, is the most powerful market on the planet. That's a fact.
Right.
That's not hearsay. That's not conspiracy theory. That is mathematical fact. Legendary is owned by China.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yes.
Wow.
It's a little secret, but for the most part, Legendary is owned by China. So China doesn't fuck around. You don't bend the knee. Like a Thanos snap, you're out. So he had no choice.
Right.
As much as I hate him, he had no choice. Or guess what? Not only would you not have seen him in the next Fast film, which he'll be set up to be a regular in, the Fast films would have been dissected because China would have went, sorry, but you didn't apologize, so your film shut down. Whether we like it or not, China is the most powerful entity in the box office, especially right now in the COVID timeline. Whether you like it or not, mathematically, it is the most powerful market right now.
Yep.
Period.
So this one's from HollywoodLife.com. This relates to the whole John Cena incident. Meghan McCain trashes, quote, spineless John Cena.
Of course she does,
After
because
he apologizes to China for
Here we
calling
go.
Taiwan a country. So she tweeted, she didn't tag him, but she tagged the video of him apologize, or she retweeted the video of him and then tweeted, this is Meghan McCain tweeting to the video, "You absolutely spineless chicken shit pathetic coward."
Oh my gosh. that's
Like,
so
Well,
horrible.
she ought to know her father was just like John Cena. So there you go.
So yeah,
Spineless.
see, she let's see. She tweeted on Tuesday afternoon, blasting John Cena with the anger she usually reserves for her co-hosts on The View. Megan, 36, was furious at John, 44, for apologizing after he referred to Taiwan as an independent country and not as part of China while promoting his new film F9. Megan was one of the many political commentators who trashed John for seemingly turning his back on the Taiwanese people out of fear of upsetting the Chinese movie viewing public. So, and of course,
Mike,
yeah.
two things. One,
Jeez.
and two, who is she to talk about anything? Because she thinks Taiwan is in Texas. So
Right?
who is she to criticize anybody about geography?
Yeah, I'm like, wow, okay. Well, if you're really gonna call him all those things and tweet, why don't you add him? Add him
Exactly.
on, please. Why are you not spineless?
And if you were gonna do that and do it on that, why didn't you give him critical information about the geography that you're talking about? Why didn't you educate him?
Exactly.
Like fully. If you were gonna do that shit, fully educate him. But you didn't because you don't know. Because like I said, you think Taiwan is close to Texas. Dumb bitch.
so
Just like
related,
your daddy.
so related to all the China stuff with John Cena. So we have the Friends, the reunion special that dropped on HBO
God,
Max
no, I'm out.
a few days ago. So I'm not a huge fan of Friends. I used to watch it when it was on. I liked it. I enjoyed it. And of course, especially in the 90s, like, you know, a lot of in school, like a lot of people watched it. So it was like, okay, cool. I remember the theme song. You hear that theme song, you know where it's from. I haven't finished the reunion, but it's made me realize and remember, like, oh, like, yeah, this show is obviously the juggernaut that it was and still is. And the fact that, you know, now they're still they're merchandising the shit out of it. There's Funko Pops, you know, straight up the wazoo, and all these merchandise. And, you know, for the special, so reportedly, each of the Friends for the reunion special made $5 million each. Not bad for a reunion special, right? For coming back together after what, 17 years? So that's reportedly. And I do remember reading on the news or seeing on the news when the show was coming to its end, or like the last 2-3 seasons, they were banking like God knows how much per episode. It was like $800,000 an episode for each of them, something like that. But for the reunion special, I still need to finish it, but I really like what they did. It's fascinating and how they show the creators tell the story of how they started casting and how the idea came about, and the fact that in the show there's not one lead character or actor, it's all of them. The story focuses on all of them. Everyone gets a fair share of story, you know. So I thought that was fascinating, and the fact that it's basically made all of them stars ever since then. And it's interesting what, like, I think it was Matthew Perry or Matt LeBlanc, who was in some, they show like some old ass, janky ass sci-fi show that he was in. And it just looks so fucking terrible. And they're like, Get out of that show. Come to Friends, and we'll treat you better. And even like Jennifer Aniston, who was in some other show, she was playing a waitress, and she wanted to leave that show. She told the creator of that show, like, let me go, as I've really fallen in love with this show. And the creator of that other show told her, no, you stay here, because you won't be a star in that other show. And lo and behold, we know what happens after the fact, of course, of 10 seasons of Friends. But right from the get-go, I thought it was interesting. By the second season, they were already hitting it big. And the fact that 25 million people were tuning in to watch each episode from around the world. Like, I don't even think that's just the US. I think it's worldwide. Or maybe it's the US only. I have to double check. Anyway, so in relation to the whole China bit with John Cena, from Variety.com, the Friends reunion has been censored in China, cutting out bits from BTS, Lady Gaga, gay fans, and more. So China's top streaming platform censored around 6 minutes of material from HBO Max Friends, the reunion special, on the day of its debut Thursday, deleting footage of artists. Deleting footage of artists like BTS, previously deemed to have, quote, insulted China, gay fans, references to pee, and a shot of Matt LeBlanc in his underwear, among other moments. Friends has amassed a huge devoted following in China over the years, and thousands of fans had expressed their excitement for the special across all local social media platforms ahead of its release. But many said they were, quote, bewildered to find that all three of the country's major streaming platforms with rights to officially broadcast the show, Iqiyi, I think, Alibaba's Youku, and Tencent Video, had entirely cut appearances by musicians BTS, Lady Gaga, and Justin Bieber, as well as other scenes. So,
what a shock!
Censorship? Yep. What? No way.
Right? And they weren't bewildered, you fucking idiot article. The Chinese people go through this all the time. It's the Chinese government. They're always censoring because the Chinese government, here's a hot take, they hate homosexuals and black people and minorities. They don't like them. And everybody goes, oh, that's a trend. No, it's not the Chinese people. The Chinese people love everything we put out there.
Yep.
Their government is what's stopping them from getting the content that they want. Yeah. And they don't speak up because if they do,
they die.
Yeah. So it says here, last October, Chinese nationalists slammed BTS for insulting China by not mentioning the sacrifices of Chinese soldiers in the Korean War in an acceptance speech for a prize celebrating the group's contributions to U.S.-Korea relations, which had no direct relation to China.
Exactly.
Like, censor them. Fuck BTS.
Get them.
And then Gaga has been a person non grata in China since she met in 2016 with the Dalai Lama, with whom she discussed compassion. Beijing accuses the Nobel Peace Prize laureate of being a dangerous separatist. Holy shit.
Can we do something real quick?
What?
Can we just give a hat off to my baby girl, Lady Gaga? You know, she's a humanitarian. She's a sexy beast. She's an all-around talented artist. You know, she's my future wife, whether she knows it or not. You know.
Oh, she better know it.
She's gonna know it.
So she has a Nobel Peace Prize, or was it the Dalai Lama?
She should have a Nobel Peace Prize.
Right? Now I'm curious. Gotta Google it.
But I'm pretty sure it was the Dalai Lama.
Yeah.
No way.
So Bieber first came under fire in China in 2014 for photographing himself visiting Tokyo's controversial Yasukuni War Shrine, a site that honors Japanese World War II war criminals alongside other casualties of war. In 2017, the Beijing Municipal Bureau of Culture formally banned him from performing in the country, citing, quote, a series of bad behaviors, both on and off stage. All three Chinese platforms cut the musicians out of the Friends special entirely. In BTS's offending 13-second clip, the K-pop superstars expressed their love for the series, with member RM saying the show, quote, really taught him things about life and true friendship. In the uncut HBO Max version of the special, Gaga appears for nearly 3 minutes to sing a rendition of Smelly Cat with Lisa Kudrow's Phoebe, backed by a gospel choir. She thanks Kudrow for being, quote, the different one, the one who was really herself on the show. The Chinese version allows Kudrow to sing a verse of the song for about 45 seconds on her own before jumping to the next post-Gaga segment. Later, Bieber's strut down a catwalk to show off a beloved potato costume from the show, Sputnik, disappears without a trace. Even more troubling, perhaps, is China's erasure of LGBTQ references. All three platforms deleted the testimony of German Friends fan Ricardo, who described how the show gave him a sense of belonging. Quote, I was a gay man who wanted to have hair like Jennifer Aniston, so you can imagine how lonely I sometimes felt, he says. And I actually remember that bit. So, Additionally, Youku deleted a subsequent scene in which a woman pulls her girlfriend on camera, quote, like every Chandler, I found my Monica, she says. Youku also cut out shots of a separate scene in which LeBlanc's Joey opens his bathrobe to reveal himself in his skivvies with a picture of Ross stuck to the front of his underwear. More confusingly, Iki and Tencent both censored a seemingly innocuous classic scene in which Monica recounts how Chandler and Joey helped her overcome a severe jellyfish sting by peeing on her, as the rest of the gang squeals in horror. So
why did that get edited? I'm not understanding.
For which one? The jellyfish?
For any of it.
So they're basically they don't like LGBTQ.
Yeah.
And those musicians, so Bieber, BTS, and Gaga are on a blacklist. So they're like delete, cut.
And just so we can clear it up, it was the Dalai Lama. He was the 14th recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Thank you for checking. But yeah, so I can only imagine what it must be like to have a job in the Chinese entertainment.
That's gotta be insane.
They're like, here's your blacklist. Make sure you cut them out.
And they get paid nothing except for a thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's insane.
Yep. So, it's just fascinating and interesting. I mean, at least here, say what you will.
But at the same time, Jonathan Cena should have known better. He should have known better. Like, not like he knew.
Yep. All righty.
Because you don't get fluent in that culture and the language and not know what you're supposed to not like. Come on.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, it could have been a slip of the tongue. Like
that's fine. That's
automatically assuming it in your mind as you're just talking. Honest mistake. That's what I'm saying. Like I feel like it's an honest mistake.
So I understand where you're coming from, Jester, but so I know this guy. If people think I have an irrational hatred of him, he knew better. He did, because he's been doing this for years.
That is true. He has been doing it a very long time.
The term Chinese have a term for us, white monkey, for a reason, and you can look it up of what that is. There's a reason why that term is out there, and it's not for you guys jumping the gun. It's not specific to Caucasians. White monkey means American. Period.
Yeah.
Black, Filipino, any of us. So he knew better. Normally, I would agree with you, Jester. I would 100% agree with you. However, Jonathan knew his white monkey standards and what he was supposed to do, and he knew better. So it goes on the government that we were talking about, and it also goes on Jonathan because he knew the bag he was getting from that country. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Alrighty, this one is some brand new news, just like yesterday. So this is from Variety.com. Miles Teller to star in the Godfather making of series, taking over the role from Armie Hammer.
Cool.
Toe eater.
Toe muncher.
Miles Teller will play producer Al Ruddy in the upcoming Paramount Plus series, The Offer, which details the behind-the-scenes story of the making of The Godfather. Teller takes over the role from Armie Hammer, whose exit from the series was exclusively reported by Variety in January amid sexual misconduct allegations. Teller will executive produce The Offer in addition to starring. He is primarily known for his film work, having previously starred in features such as Whiplash, The Spectacular Now, Bleed for This, and Only the Brave. He's also set to star in the upcoming films such as Top Gun Maverick and Spiderhead on the TV side. Teller starred in Too Old to Die Young on Amazon, which was directed and co-directed by Nicholas Winding Refn. So, The Offer will tell the story of Ruddy's experience as a producer on The Godfather back in 1972. Paramount Plus has given the limited series a 10-episode order. So Paramount Plus is ramping up.
Who is he supposed to be playing?
He's going to be playing
Mario Puzo?
Al Ruddy. He's going to be playing
he's going to be the producer. Okay.
Producer Al Ruddy. Yep.
Okay. Okay.
That's who he's going to be playing. And then, of course, from MovieWeb.com, Tommy Wiseau challenges Hollywood to cast him in Knives Out 2. So
if they do, then I'll watch it.
The Room director and star Tommy Wiseau wants to join the ensemble cast of Rian Johnson's Knives Out 2. If Rian Johnson were to cast Tommy Wiseau in Knives Out 2, the world would be a better place to live. Truly a unique personality. Wiseau is best known for starring in The Room, the legendary indie movie he also wrote, directed, and produced. The story of its production was chronicled in the movie The Disaster Artist, with James Franco playing the eccentric actor and filmmaker. So, interesting. Really.
Hell yeah. Why not? A shitty actor directed by a shitty director.
If you'd like a bunch of laughs, if you're feeling like you just want to laugh, you need to laugh really hard or cringe at the same time, just go ahead and YouTube Tommy Wiseau Joker, and he does his own version of the Joker from The Dark Knight, and holy shit. If there's ever been a terrible...
And even better, if you can find a copy of The Room, get it. It is fantastically terrible.
I need to see that.
For my boy Jester, it's on the level of a Neil Breen movie.
Yeah, I heard actually that.
So it's top quality, Jester.
I know. I need to do that with my wife because I really do, because she's the one that dragged me to all the Neil Breen stuff and
then she needs to see The Room.
Let's go to the movie theater and watch Neil Breen in downtown LA. I'm like, excuse me, you want to what? Like, it was funny watching it on YouTube as it is, but
that is hilarious.
I still need to see The Room. I've seen The Disaster Artist, though. The Disaster Artist is quite a trip. So, alrighty. From HollywoodReporter.com, Val Kilmer documentary set by Amazon Studios and A24. It's going to be called Val, traces the life and career of the mercurial actor through interviews and behind-the-scenes footage supplied by Kilmer, who also stars in the upcoming sequel, Top Gun Maverick.
Does he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, remember we
we
had quite the discussion about it back when we first started.
My documentary's coming out. Be sure to see it on Hulu.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I'm back, bitches.
Val Kilmer, whose Maverick career has included a varied range of roles from Batman to rock icon Jim Morrison, is the focus of a new intimate documentary produced by A24 and acquired by Amazon Studios in the US and Latin America. Directed by Leo Scott and Ting Poo. That's the actual name. Ting Poo, P-O-O. Val relies on numerous interviews with Kilmer as well as footage supplied by the actor and artist himself. Quote, at least once a day for years, I looked around and got this bittersweet feeling that there are 1,000 reasons that this project could have been shipwrecked. Kilmer told THR in a statement, I mean, what could a film look like of a man filming himself? Holy shit. Oh, God. Oh, my God. And I don't know, the fact that he's supplying, like, hey, use this. No, not that one. I'm not going to show you that one. I'm going to give you that one. Use this. That one.
Well, his pompous Val Kilmer has come out because he's notorious for being a dickhead. Like,
see, that I'm really curious about.
So there's a documentary about the island of Dr. Moreau and how it was made. I can't. Oh God, I'm looking it up, but there's a documentary. I saw it on Amazon, and they talked about how he was a terror on set and the reason why Marlon Brando hated his ass. He despised Val Kilmer because Val Kilmer was supposedly an absolute unbearable prick on that set.
Right, so I heard.
So, and I don't like to kick people while they're down, even though we've made the jokes of the but, you know, there is a thing about karma. You know, you're shitty to people, karma comes back to you. Whether you believe it's God or karma or your shit comes back to you if you're a shitty person to people, notoriously. Because apparently after Batman Forever and the Oscar nomination he got, which I think was for The Doors, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's The Doors.
Yeah,
he did really good in that.
He developed a huge ego, and people hate him. So we'll see. Well, I don't think they'll tackle that, you know, because that would dissect Val's ego. So they won't tackle that. But there is I'm trying hard to find it. We can get back to it and I can get to the end, but I'll look for that documentary and I'll tell you. But it's the documentary on the island of Dr. Monroe, and people hated him. Everyone hated him. So, because he was a prick.
Right.
Because it came fresh off of Batman Forever, where whether you liked it or not, that movie was a huge success for him.
Right.
It was a huge success for the studio. It made tons of money, and his ego just went through the roof. So,
right. I still need to see The Doors and Tombstone.
The Doors is fantastic.
Oh, you haven't seen Tombstone?
Those are his best movies. I'm sorry, but they are.
Tombstone
and The Doors are his best movies.
Yeah, I need to see those.
They're the reason why you can consider him an Oscar caliber actor.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
like especially Tombstone, where and the reason why I say Tombstone is because he wasn't the focal point. He was a sub character and he gobbled.
I know he stole the show. I know
he did. He really did. He gobbled scenery.
Oh yeah. Every scene he was in, I was captivated, dude. I was like, oh my gosh, this is an amazing character.
he came up with one of the most famous lines there, like, you know it, Jester.
Oh yeah, 100%, man.
The Huckleberry line, you know.
Oh yeah, that's my Huckleberry.
So Val Kilmer, yes, he's a very he is and still is a talented actor. He's just notoriously known as a fucking prick.
Right, right.
Like, I've even heard Kurt Russell hates him. So
wow,
I heard that too, actually. But
because he's a prick. He's supposed to be a fucking on set. He's supposed to be a diva.
Yeah,
like
ego
a diva.
Yeah,
like a Mariah Carey diva.
Yep.
Interesting. But yeah, and I'm hoping that we still get to see that Batman Forever Schumacher cut.
Me too. Me too, brother. Because no joke, I love that movie. I love it. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Batman Forever is the fucking shit.
I enjoy it. I mean, I enjoy every interpretation of Batman, even Batman and Robin.
I mean, you know, I hate Batman and Robin. I think it's dog shit, but I understood what he was trying to go for. And at the end of the day, a lot of people don't realize that a lot of that was forced on him.
Right. Right.
So,
and hey, if we
can't blame him completely, because a lot of that was forced on Joel Schumacher.
Right.
So,
and if he didn't go full circle to like Batman 66 and we didn't get Batman and Robin, I don't think we would have gotten Christopher Nolan's take on.
Exactly.
So, you know.
Exactly. So.
All right. Well, that's all I've got for the news. If you guys want to share anything you're currently watching or enjoying.
Honestly, I'm pretty ready to wrap up, but I will say that the Rush Hour movies are on HBO Max, and go watch them because they're still a treat to watch.
Oh yes, I saw that. Yep. Still waiting for that Rush Hour 4 announcement. Like, holy shit,
dude! Seriously, I really want one. Like,
come on.
I wouldn't even mind him doing another movie with Owen Wilson. Like, there was Shanghai Noon and Shanghai Nights that I really enjoyed.
Who's gonna direct it?
Oh, I don't know.
Because Ratner cannot direct
it. That's
like,
right.
Like,
that's
we
right.
know, yeah.
Oh,
right.
Yeah, he's in the Bryan Singer category, and Kevin.
That's right.
You can't, like, if they let him direct it, they would be absolute hypocrites.
Yeah. So I wonder who owns the rights. Would it just be the studio? Because he produced those too, right? Rat Pack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's maybe.
So what would happen? What would happen is he would still get money from it.
That's right.
And what they so let's best case Hollywood scenario would be they would eradicate him off the face of the planet. They would get new writers, new directors, but he would still make money off of it because he, like you said, he produces the films and he has the rights to them. Him and New Line.
Gotcha.
So it's between those two.
Yeah, I think also BVS is also. I think it's BVS that's also Rat Pack produced or like.
Yep.
And that's why
they had that Gal Gadot scenario that happened.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
So, you know, they're under the gun.
Yeah, it's fascinating how those things work. And, you know, like you think
it really is, because a lot of the people don't like to mention it, but the Weinsteins are still making money under their loophole contracts. So.
Right. Yeah.
But, you know, me too, and all that bullshit, you know, that phony Hollywood bullshit. And then you guys wonder why we hate you.
Well, I mean, for those that it helped, I'm all for it.
I am too, but there's a lot of people out there, especially the children that we don't like to talk about, that have not been rectified. Like the Corey Haim, Corey Feldman situation. Right. That was swept under the rug during the Me Too movement. So I agree with you, Mike. It's a great movement, but the results have been absolute bullshit.
Right.
Just like Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, it's something that's, you know, it's something that, hey, at least it raises awareness, and we'll see what goes from here. It still depends on how people, react.
You guys, you just need to do your due diligence out there and actually research what you're putting your money into and go from there. That's all I'm saying, and I'll leave it at that.
Yep. Alrighty then. Well, that's pretty much the episode.
Yep.
Sweet.
So thank you guys for joining us. And feel free to, if you're listening to this on Spotify, make sure you hit that follow button so you can be alerted whenever we've got new shows. Or if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, we would appreciate if you rated the show. Also, I'm not sure if it's just me, but whenever I try to find the show on Apple Podcasts, it's giving me no results. So I don't know if that's just me, but if there's any other Apple users out there, make sure to check and try to do a search for the show, Filmmaker Mike and the boys, because nothing is coming up for me.
Let me see.
And I have to do this real quick. I forgot about this. I left this out, but I have to retract something. This has to be on air. Our boy Dan, who is an avid listener, just like Jesse and others, they're and Brad, my boy Brad, love you, Brad. Our hardcore listeners, Dan brought something up to me, and I have to retract a statement that I made last week. I don't hate all heist films. He actually brought something up to me that I have to retract. So I will say this. He's right, because he brought up two examples that made me rethink my stance on heist films. So here we go. I hate heist films. I enjoy good ones. He brought up two examples that I could not debate.
Which one?
One was Heat.
Oh, okay.
Greatest heist film of all time, in my opinion.
Okay.
Whew. And he got me bad. I was like, oh, shit.
And the
The
other?
second heist film, I got to remember which one it was. He brought up Heat, and there was another one that I could not debate.
Who was
Or
in it?
no, okay. Heat and Point Break.
Point
He got
Break's
me
not
on
really a
two.
heist
He got me, huh?
Point Break's not really a heist movie, though, is it? It's a cop and robber
Kind of
movie.
is. It's far more a heist film than I don't know, Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Well, yeah, Kuya was talking out of his butthole with that one. But I mean, but is it really?
He has a point, because there's a lot of heist. And I don't like to go into it because there's still people that haven't seen it for what reason, I don't know. You idiots out there. But
Mike.
yes, he's undercover. But he's undercover doing heist work. Like, you and I both know that's
Spoilers. I was kidding.
I know. That's why I'm trying. But the point is, he brought up the two heist films, Heat and Point Break. He's correct. So I will retract my statement. I don't hate heist films. I hate terrible heist films. Like, I don't know, one Zack Snyder. I don't know, but I hate terrible heist films. So I'll retract my statement. Pinhead was wrong. You heard it here, folks. I know you love that, right? Pinhead was wrong. I don't hate heist films. I hate terrible heist films. So there you go.
All right.
There you go. One more.
And that one's for you, Dan. I love you, baby boy.
Yeah, one more thing too. I forgot to mention. If you enjoyed Borat 2, they released more. I guess more footage from the cutting room floor of Borat's. So check out Borat's American Lockdown and Borat VHS cassette of material deemed subacceptable by Kazakhstan Ministry of Censorship and Circumcision. So That's from Sacha Baron Cohen. That's on Amazon Prime Video right now. So if you've got it, it's there. If you enjoyed Borat, well, there's more footage. And lastly, I forgot to mention this. Quiet Place 2 is looking at a big debut. It's projected to bring in $47 million through Sunday and $57 million by Monday.
Yes, my baby's doing it.
Not 300. From 3,726 North American theaters. So if that doesn't tell you what that the movies are back, well, the movies are back. And Cinemark, I believe AMC, and I forgot the other theater chain that announced it. They have also announced that for movie audiences who are vaccinated, you no longer need to wear a mask in the movie theater, in the auditorium, when you're watching a film. So there you go.
And I will say this as we wrap up, that's good for Quiet Place Part 2 because, ladies and gentlemen, I hate to bring this news to you, but for this part of the COVID timeline with the theaters opening up, you're going to have to come to us at the horror movie community over here, or you're going to have to go over there to Marvel because those are going to be the heavy hitters that are going to come out for this year. Because next week, we got Conjuring 3 coming out. And then after that, you know, The Fast and the Furious, which might as well be a comic book movie, so from Marvel. So you guys need to really come over to this circle or go to the Marvel branch because that's those are going to be the heavy hitters, excluding, you know, Fast 22. So there you go.
Yep. All righty. That's it for this episode. Thank you guys for tuning in, for listening in, for your continued support. We always appreciate it. So until next time, we hope that we will have Kuya back on by then.
Hopefully.
So thank you guys for listening and for watching. Stay safe out there. See you all again soon.
Bye-bye.
Come home, Kuya.